Hello, Reija from the future here to let you know that this vlog contains all of my thoughts on all the manga that I read in the month of April, which was a lot. I participated in the 30 manga in 30 days challenge that was going on in April, and now I will let Reija from the past tell you all about their progress in the challenge. So without further ado, let's get started. I have a bunch of manga that I need to read, both from my shelves and also some library copies. So here's the first ones that I am going to be starting with. I have Niwawa and I by Nagabe. Nagabe is the author and artist for The Girl from the Other Side, which is one of my favorite mangas currently. So this is her earlier work, and I am very interested in picking it up, and it is a Finnish translation. And then I have Junji Ito's Cat Diary, Yon and Mu. And this is basically Junji Ito detailing his life with his wife's cats, that his wife got them, and it's basically like uses all of the horror tropes that are familiar from his other works, but put in this adoring cat dad energy. So yeah, I'm probably going to start with this one actually, because I'm just like, I need all the cat shenanigans. So yeah, gonna do that now. Okay, so I have read my first mangas, Junji Ito's Cat Diary, and this was very good. It is basically a slice of life comedy, autobiographical manga about Junji Ito's early married life and how he basically got cats because his wife, then fiancé, wanted cats, and how he slowly turned into a cat lover. And it is basically the gimmick is that it deals with a slice of life, happy, like very mundane topic like cat ownership, but it is illustrated with Junji Ito's standard horror style. So it's like, it's super fun. And I will say that there are some scenes where the cat owners handle the cats in a way that cats should not be handled. And also the way the book ends is a bit of a bummer, because the way it ends is that the English publisher of this manga tacked on a short snippet, a short comic, and a little essay that were not published originally as part of the collection, but were published for a charity event, and and that deals with like death of a pet. So that's a little bit of a bummer when you've had that fun ride, and it's such a uplifting manga otherwise, and then it ends that way, so you're kind of like, oh well, ouch. So I gave this 4 stars, would recommend, especially if you are a cat lover. You will definitely get much out of it. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend this for non-cat lovers. And then I read Niwawa and I, Niwawa ja minä by Nagabe. This was Nagabe's debut series, from what I understand. And I have to say that I didn't really like it all that much. I will read the second volume because I have it coming from the library. But basically, this is about this anthropomorphic like species that is basically doing like culture exchange with humans. And this man here is kind of hosting him. And it was kind of tiring to read because the main character doesn't want to do anything. Every time he is confronted with the possibility of trying to show Nivava something, trying to show him something of his life or other, he is like, no, I won't do that. I don't want to. I'm lazy. I am tired. I'm depressed. Blah blah blah. And like there are people like that. I mean, it's relatable. I am sometimes like that, but at the same time, um, reading from that character who is so one note and doesn't change and doesn't really have the even the urge to do anything is incredibly tiring. So I was like, um, every time I read something about the culture of the anthropomorphic species and saw the designs for those creatures, I was like, yes, this is interesting. This is exciting. But because it's from the point of view of this boring main character, it was a chore to read. So it's kind of like 50-50 now with my manga challenge. So I'm 2 down, 28 to go. Hello, it is Sunday, the 4th of April, and it's been a couple days since I last updated you on my manga reading journey. And have I read any manga since then? I have not. For some reason, I have had a huge trouble with time management these past couple days. Like my sleeping schedule, phew, out the window. I've basically become a nocturnal animal at this point. But currently, I have a video rendering, and because my computer is a piece of shit, it will take approximately 1 hour at least until it has finished rendering itself, and it's already been doing that for the past 50 minutes. So I'm going to take this time to read some Spy X Family. I have volumes 2 and 3 ready to go, and I have to return these to the library on Tuesday when the library is open again after the bank holidays. I am already accumulating some fines, which is not ideal. But yeah, I'm going to be reading these two now. So then I am, because today is 4th and it's one manga per day, then I'm like up to speed. So I have then read 4 manga volumes. And probably tomorrow I'm going to try and read 2 more to sort of keep myself in the loop. And yeah, basically all the mangas that are due at the library or are late are a priority. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and read these and have a bit of pizza, and I will let you know what I thought of them when I'm done. Okay, so I have finished reading volumes 2 and 3 of Spy X Family by Tatsuya Endo. I gave volume 2 4 stars. It was incredibly funny. Its approach to humor is very very unique. Like I don't like it relies heavily on like physical comedy and sort of like absurd comedy, but also it's very like it has a little bit of a sarcastic tone to it. It's fun. And I don't like the approach is incredibly unique because I don't think I've seen similar jokes done before. Like the way the author does the jokes is so effective. I really enjoyed this volume in particular. and I'm excited to see how the mission of Twilight of the Spy is going. And we also get to know a little bit more about the world. So the world in this is sort of inspired by the Cold War. So essentially, this is sort of like a Cold War type situation between um, an imaginary version and secondary world version of East Berlin and West Berlin. So an Iron Curtain is referenced. There are literal like SSS officers. So it kind of like takes pages from the fall of the like Nazi regime and what came after that in Germany and in like Eastern and Central Europe, and but like that is the setting, and it sort of seems to take place in a sort of 60s inspired setting, like you can see it in the covers, that all of the characters are sitting in this very like mod style furniture, and the way the technology is, it seems to be 60s inspired. So this was so much fun. And then the third volume, I gave it 3 stars. It was good, it was funny, but there is this trope that gets utilized with this character who has a brother who is very like obsessed with his sister and sort of has a sister complex, and I personally hate that trope. Like, you know, maybe it's because I have a brother, and like, you know, when you have siblings and you have these like certain kinds of sibling interactions, these tropes stop being effective because you're like, that would never happen, and if it did, it would be incredibly toxic. So I'm like, I don't find that trope funny. So that's why it didn't work for me. And also there is like a content warning for like animal cruelty in this volume, which I think will be more prevalent in the next volume. There's also like some jokes in this volume weren't as effective for me as in the previous volume, but overall I still enjoyed it, and this series is just a lot of fun. It's so interesting because the setting is so awful, like it's basically like, hey, a fascist regime, spycraft, but also make it lighthearted and a family comedy. It's this weird juxtaposition, and it works. Like, I don't know, but this is such a fun series. Like I've been having such a good time with it. So yeah, tomorrow I'm probably going to read the first volume of Jujutsu Kaisen by Gege Akutami, because I need to return that to the library as well. So yeah, that's gonna be my plan for tomorrow. So it is Monday, the 5th of April. It's the last bank holiday before work and everything starts up again. And I just came in to check in and tell you that I finished reading Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 1. And this is actually very interesting because this is probably one of the first times when I am reading a manga that I've already watched the adaptation for. So I watched the entirety of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1 and I really enjoyed it. So, and because it's so fresh in my mind, it is very interesting to compare and contrast some of the scenes in the manga and how they were portrayed in the anime. And I actually have to say that I enjoy the anime so far a lot more. Like, I wanna say that this first volume of manga covers the first 3, I would say the first 3 or 4 episodes of the manga are covered in the anime. Or the first volume covers the first approximately 3 episodes of
the anime. And I have to say that this is such a fast-paced start. Like, it just snap takes you straight to the action, straight to the characters, and just doesn't really even allow you to stop for a breath because it's just going to set everything up as quickly as possible. Which I thought that the anime kind of added in some quiet moments and sort of added in on the scene some extra bits that allowed us to see more of the like characterization and stuff. So in that sense, I'm not gonna say that this is rushed. I'm just saying that now, having seen the anime, I can tell where improvements could be made because the anime made all the improvements. So it's really interesting. I definitely am going to continue because I love the anime, and this is basically the same thing, but in manga form, and I want to be all up to date, and I want to basically read past where the anime left off because it's probably going to be another year before we get anything else, and like, I'm just so excited. I love this character. Nobara is currently my favorite. She's my bae. She's lovely. This, like, I will say that this has one of the best like female characters that I like. Nobara is flawed. She is spunky. She's aggressive, and she's brash, but she's also like strong, and she's also feminine, and she is like very unapologetic about that. She's very unapologetic about her confidence and how she views herself as being beautiful and stuff. So that's great. And yeah, I'm like so intrigued. And I love the dynamic between the main trio of characters, and obviously Gojo as well, but he's like the sensei. He's the teacher of the group, and but the main trio is they have such a nice dynamic, and they are all such different characters. So yeah, I'm really excited to continue on with the series. This first one, 3.5 stars, lots of setup. There were a few typos in this translation, which were really like which were kind of like okay, and I could also tell that there was maybe some like a little bit of a like not a translation mistake, but I personally probably would have used a different phrasing in a sentence in that particular scene. But yeah, nothing too major. And yeah, what else? It was just a lot of fun. Some parts were a bit like there was like a monologue with no showing of what the character was talking about, which once again, compared to the anime added in scenes for that monologue to give more impact for that scene. So yeah, 3.5 stars for this volume. It was good. It was a nice setup, nice start to the series, but I am expecting it to get better.
So I was reading Danza by wait. Yes. So I was reading Danza by Natsume Ono, and the characters in this volume eat so much pizza that I convinced my partner to go out with me and get some pizza for us because it was ridiculous. Every single frame in one of these short stories, pizza everywhere. It was great. But anyway, this is basically a one-shot by Natsume Ono about fatherhood and friendship, and it's basically like familial relationships. It's like 6 short stories, and it basically has this very exaggerated art style. Like Natsume Ono in general has a very exaggerated art style, but like in this one, it's like amped up to the nth degree. And yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. And also, I got pizza, which is great. Okay, hello. It is the 12th of April, so it's Monday. Yes, I am completely out of the loop with time. And as you have seen from a couple of previous clips, I have been reading some manga today, but there I haven't been updating you on a lot of the manga that I have been reading. So I have finished 5 things that I haven't talked about yet, plus the book that I finished today that I already showed you earlier. So I will just quickly go through all of these. So first up, Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 2. This was good. Had some really heart-pounding moments. We were introduced to like the main antagonists of this arc. We got to know more about each of individual characters, and we also got to meet some more of the supporting cast. So this was a very pivotal volume, very fast paced. I maybe like it's my preference to have some more breathing room between like action events. But I gave this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and the art in these volumes is incredibly like it's sketchy, but the action is very clear and easy to follow. So yeah, highly enjoyed this one. Then I finished Delicious in Dungeon Volume 8. This was also on my Bookboard TBR, so yay, 1 down. And I love this, 5 stars. I just really enjoy what this series is doing. It is a comedy, but it is also an epic fantasy with a very emotionally like gripping storyline throughout. It is about like friendship and like found family and like sibling relationships and familial relationship, and also like having the like making friends along the way and like building community in an epic fantasy setting. And it is lovely. Once again, the art, I'm trying not to like give you too much spoilers because this is, as I said, this is the 8th volume, but the art style looks like this. It is very clean. Ryoko Kui's art style is incredibly clean, and her action scenes are easily, like you can easily follow them. Sometimes the panel layout can be a bit cramped, but it like she makes up for it with a bunch of these beautiful, huge spreads, like, and her monster designs are wonderful. So yeah, 5 stars. Really love this one. Can't wait to pick up the next volume. Then I have Blank Canvas, My So-Called Artist's Journey by Akiko Higashimura. This is Akiko Higashimura's artistic memoir. Akiko Higashimura is the author of one of my favorite manga series, The Jellyfish Princess, and another manga series called Tokyo Tarareba Girls, which I'm also reading. And this is basically all about her journey as an artist, starting from the time when she was in high school. And I thought that this was okay. I gave this like 3 stars. There was some fat shaming, and also I don't like, there's this thing with a lot of like this thing where people have this nostalgia for clearly abusive peers, where in this one, Akiko Higashimura kind of paints her teacher, who is like depicted as a sort of asshole with a heart of gold, and she has this sort of nostalgic sense for him, and like these nostalgic feelings about, even though he made her life hell during art class, he was still like an important mentor. And I'm like, I don't subscribe to that sort of like feeling. Like I will full on admit that some of the teachers I have had in my life were absolute assholes, and no, I will not apologize for that. And I just find it uncomfortable when there's this need to basically be like, oh well, Sensei was a horrible person to me back then, but you know, he taught me a lot. And I'm like, no. Both things can be true, but you can still say that you're like, you don't have to apologize for feeling that your sensei was an asshole. But yeah, I gave this 3 stars, and I will continue on. And then I read the next 2 volumes, volume 17 and volume 18 of The Promised Neverland by Kaiju Shirai and Posuke Demisu. I can't really say too much about these because they are literally at the end tail of the series. I only have 2 more volumes left to go. And my main issue is still present. The pacing is too erratic. Like, things are happening at a too fast pace, and that means that there is a diminished sense of character development, diminished sense of scope within the world. Like, when we first started with the series, when I first started with the series, the world seemed huge, and now because characters have to move from point A to point B, like basically in the span of 2 scenes, the world feels like it's shrinking, and it's what I like to call the Game of Thrones effect, where there is like teleporting and stuff, without actual teleporting. So I think that's like, this end just feels rushed. I still want, like, I only have 2 volumes to go. I'm still going to read it, but I mean, this series has definitely gone downhill after, I want to say, the 11th volume. 11th volume was the last, like, real standout volume for me, and after that it has been steadily declining in terms of quality, but I'm still enjoying it. I gave these ones, like, 3 stars, 3.5 stars. So, yeah. And then, today I finished Danza by Natsume Ono. This is a short story collection of 6 short stories about different kinds of relationship. There is one, there's 2 actually, between like a father and a son, and then there's like a relationship between a father-in-law and a son-in-law, a relationship between like police partners, basically a superior officer and lower ranking officer, that kind of relationship, like peer-to-peer relationship, and also like a brothers relationship. And I thought it was fun. It was very experimental in terms of style. Like, if you look at this art style, it is very like fluid. The characters are like there is a lot of motion and expression packed into very simplistic designs. And it's funny because you can still see that this is Natsume Ono's style, because I have another one here by Natsume Ono, The House of Five Leaves, and if you compare the art style of this series to that of the previous one, you can still see the core elements that make up Natsume Ono's style. like the eyes especially are very similar. But yeah, I thought that this was pretty good. Like, as with usual with short story collections, there were some that were better than others, but I overall thought that this was a very good short story collection. I personally I'm a little bit tired of like police procedural kind of stories. So the two stories that had like police characters were my least favorites of the bunch, because I'm like, I can't relate. Like, sorry. But yeah, I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. And now I'm up to date with all of my reviews. It's been 12 days and I have read 11 things. So I'm 1 book behind. I'm hopefully going to read 2 tomorrow, so then I'm up to date. Okay, time for me to wrap up the vlog now. 2 things that I managed to read after that last clip were Spy X Family Volume 4. This, in my opinion, has been the best volume so far. I gave it 5 stars. It was fantastic. It managed to balance instances of incredible funniness and also high tension, darker moments. And I love Bond, which is the new character introduced into the family in this volume, and he is delightful. So yeah, I am very happy to have picked up this series, and I want to continue on with it very much. And the other one that I read was Seven Little Sons of the Dragon by Ryoko Kui. I have made a full review of this, so I will leave that up in the cards so you can hear my thoughts about it there. But yeah, these here have been all of the manga that I have read during this month. I didn't get to 30, I had to quit the challenge because I was kind of getting into a slump. So I got 21 out of 30, and that is good. That is good for me. That was a lot of reading, and I learned a lot. I learned that I can't be reading that much. I really need to prioritize reading quality instead of quantity. It doesn't matter how much I read, it just matters that I am at least enjoying myself and not putting a strain on myself to finish as many things as possible. So in that way, this challenge has been very interesting. But yeah, I hope you liked this long-ass video, and I hope you liked these sort of mini reviews. And this is basically part 1 of my wrap-up. I will have my actual wrap-up of all the other things that I read coming up soon. So without further ado, I will see you in another video very soon. Bye bye!